Welcome to part 37 of my series of videos showing my romance novel collection. Now, as I've talked about in previous videos, this isn't necessarily my permanent collection of romance novels. Some of the books I will add to my permanent collection. Others I will pass on, sell, donate, etc. Because space is limited. But most of these books are books that I bought used at thrift stores and library sales. If you go to your local thrift store, you can often find romance novels for less than $1 each, and library sales as well. Sometimes they even have free boxes, and some of these I did get in my free box. In fact, these ones here, all these here ones, I believe I got in the free box there. Those 5 books. And the books on the left here, or on the right rather, are books that I got at a library sale yesterday for a fill a bag for $1 deal. So it was a really good deal. So I'll show all these books here. Now the first book that I'm going to show here is one that I actually bought brand new last week. After Dark with the Duke by Julianne Long, and it's part of the Palace of Rogues series. And I don't buy that many brand new books that often. I used to have, I believe, this book here. I'm not sure if I still have it, but I had never read it. Lady Daring Takes a Lover. But what happened was I happened to be at the store and looking at the paperback books, as one does, and I was waiting around for someone. So I was flipping through this book, and I read the first 2 pages, and I was like, you know what, I want to buy this book because I want to see what happens. I haven't gotten very far yet in the book. You can see I'm on page 32. Like I said, I bought it last week. I've been very slow in reading this year. My Goodreads challenge was only like 40 books, but something like that, maybe 60 books. But I've not read any books all the way through yet this year, and it's already March 1st today. So we'll have to get to it. But this year I'm planning on finishing this book this month, but we'll see. This is a book that I bought, I think, for $1 at a thrift store. Looks like a book club edition, yes. By Dorothy Eden, An Afternoon Walk. And it just looked nice. And I used to have some Dorothy Eden books way back in the day, but it's from 1971. But I'd never read her, so I thought, well, I'll check this out. She used to write like Gothic type books, and then moved into like historical romance. And there's a picture of Dorothy Eden right there. And a little bio. All right. We have 2 more books that I bought yesterday. I bought these for 75 cents each at a thrift store. Phyllis A. Whitney, The Moonflower, is a romantic suspense from Fawcett Crest. A lot of the Fawcett books had this sort of look to them at this time. And more Fawcett Crest books by Phyllis Whitney. This book is actually from 1958, and it says printed in the United States, August 1972. She also wrote like books for young adults and stuff like that. Charlotte Vale Allen, Another Kind of Magic. This is a sequel to her earlier book, Hidden Meanings. This is from Warner Books, and there is Charlotte Vale Allen right there. A truly important writer, says Betty Davis. So that's interesting. Now, I'm not sure if this is actually romance, though, or not. This might be just sort of general fiction or women's fiction. It sort of looks like a romance novel from the front there. But this is from 1977, June 1977. Cover art by Tom Hall. So at this time, it was before the rules of romance had really, become solid. So it was before Romantic Times magazine started in 1981. It was before the Romance Writers of America was founded. So a lot of books don't necessarily that were marketed sort of as a romance may not have had the happy ending. So I actually looked on the back cover, the back page of this, I probably shouldn't show this as a spoiler for people if they're going to read it, but I wanted to see if this was a real romance. There's some profanity there, which is unusual for a romance novel of the time. And it didn't seem like a happy ending to me. It seemed like she's in this marriage with this guy who is not that great. He continued to glare at her for several seconds. And she had no experience dealing with anger. He frightened her, particularly irrational anger. Paul had been irrational. And a small voice said, "You've made a mistake, a big mistake, and there's nothing you can do about it now." She fought down the thought, telling herself, "All newly married couples have misunderstandings until they learn each other's patterns. It is a mistake." Well, it may be a mistake. So that isn't necessarily a reassuring, happy ending. So who knows if that's really, a romance. But, it doesn't mean it's a bad book. It just means it's not a romance. And Andre Norton was a famous science fiction writer. In fact, it says there right on the front. It's published by Fawcett. And again, it has sort of that look that, like the Phyllis A. Whitney book does, which is also by Fawcett. And I got this at a local library for 10 cents. This book is from, let's go there. You can usually tell if it doesn't have a barcode on the back that it's from before 1980. This one's from 1976. But the library had a whole bunch of Andre Norton books. All of them were her science fiction stuff, except for this one was a romantic suspense. And I've never had a romantic suspense by her before, so I bought it. Ann Mather, Harlequin Presents 546, Season of Mists. This one I think is from 1982. Let's take a look. Yep. November 1982. Ann Mather, I believe, is still alive. Her first book came out in 1965, so she's probably one of the last surviving authors of Harlequin's 1960s boom, of the Mills and Boon authors. And I think she probably doesn't get enough recognition for being such a prolific and notable author. In fact, I think there's a ad. Here we go. There's an ad for one of her other books on here. This was a single title book, not part of a category. 400 pages. All right, and then there's Harlequin's Super Romance 134. I think this is from like 1984 or something like that. Let's take a look. About the author. Yep, 1984. This is interesting dedication. To Harrison Ford, I couldn't have done it without you. Interesting. Let's see here. In the back, there's a Barbara Delinsky ad for a Barbara Delinsky novel. Some more ads. This is a nice one. Harlequin, introducing Harlequin Intrigue, which debuted that year. Maybe get that tighter. There we go. All right. Now, this book isn't a romance. I bought this yesterday for 75 cents as well at a thrift store. But I bought it because it was looks like a historical novel about a ship's captain. There's the guy there. And also because it was an import. Arrow Books was a UK publisher. And this one is from 1974. This edition, 74. The book came out in 71. It has a nice little map there. But anyways, whenever I can get an imported book, I kind of like those. They're kind of rare to find these. Not that rare, but it's different to find something like that in the U.S. Now, these were actually part of that fill a bag for $1 thing. These Lindsay Sands books. I believe I had this one, Hunting for a Highlander. I believe I had that before. I'm not sure if I still had it, but it was only fill a bag for $1 and it was nice condition. And Love is Blind. This one is a reissue. This is from Avon Books of an earlier book from 2006. But this edition printing, mass market printing, is from 2020. which I believe the other book was as well. And then we have 3 books that I actually got out of a library free box. They're all Signet Regencies by Allison Lane, which are from like the early 2000s. Birds of a Feather, this one's from 1999. July 1999. I love these covers. And with seeing covers like this kind of makes me wonder, why didn't I buy these or take any notice of them at the time they were released? Because this sort of cover is like right up my alley. It's very old-fashioned and charming. And this is back when Signet had a regular monthly Regency line, which unfortunately they stopped around 2005 or so. And this one's from year 2000. And The Rake and the Wallflower. And this is from 2001. These were also from the free box. I used to have this book in like 2018, I think. And I ended up getting rid of it. But I never read it. But it's from the 70s, obviously. Signet. 1976. And this is a Kismet. Probably from the early 90s. Probably 93 or so. Yep, 1993. Not sure where I got these ones from. These are recent books. I probably got them for like 50 cents each at a thrift store. Amish Christmas. This is actually a newer book. This is December 2021. And this one here is January 2022, so this year. So these are brand new books. But I didn't buy them brand new. I bought them at a thrift store, which is a good way to get books cheaply. This book was in the free box. This is October 2021, Harlequin Heartwarming, which is sort of like their Hallmark movie type of line, I guess. It's sort of a sweet romance that, low sensuality, I think. I have not read one yet, but that's what I assume. These are larger print books. And I'm not sure if I showed these ones before. I'm not even sure where I got them. Probably got them at a thrift store for like 50 cents each. But this was an Amish novel. It looks brand new. See, it's from Zebra Books, 2021. What month? July 2021. Nice cover there. And then this one is from Grand Central Publishing. Also looks very newish. Again, I'm not sure if I showed these ones before. But January 2021. Alright. So now we get to the books that I got where it was fill a bag for $1. This was probably the coolest one. A Duke Worth Fighting For, Christina Britton. I read one of her previous books, Someday My Duke Will Come. I read that last year. And I wasn't that crazy about it. I mean, it was alright. I gave it a 3-star review. I think I did, if I'm remembering right. I just remember wanting to like it more than I did. It was okay, though. But this one is from August 2021. And there's Christina Britton on the back. And his little map there. Anyways, pretty cool to get that in the fill a bag for $1. And then a bunch of books by Elizabeth Doyle. 4 books who I'd not heard of before. This is a Avon, something about Emmeline. This is from 2005. I think all these ones are around that period. And those ones have the cover illustration on the back cover. So you can see there, here's another one. There's the back cover illustration. Avon Romantic Treasure. So we have the front there, this rake of mine. And then there's the cover, which is a kind of cool way of doing it. I mean, if you don't want to have a step back. So there's His Mistress by Morning. And then the full-length back cover. Also part of the fill a bag for $1, Victoria Alexander, The Shocking Secret of a Guest at the Wedding. I think it was like from 2014 or something like that. Let's take a look. Yes, 2014. November 2014. this is 1887, so Victorian era. Katie McAllister writes paranormal romance. I have another book of hers called, I think, Even Vampires Get the Blues or something like that. This one's called Light My Fire. From 2006. There she is right there. Signet Eclipse. Coming December 2006. Look at all those releases. Oh, and there's the other book I have of hers. Yeah, Even Vampire Get the Blues. This one, Undone by Shannon Richard, was originally released as an ebook, if memory serves, from Forever. Yes, originally published as an ebook, first mass market edition 2014. Carolyn Brown. Now this one was kind of funny because, you know, it has this cowboy on the front. By Carolyn Brown, whose husband, it says, is a mystery novelist. But funny thing is, there's a little dedication on the front here written. It says, 89th birthday, Mom. So this was given from 2020, which is when the book came out. So this was given for somebody's 89th birthday. And finally, we have this, it looks like a thriller, Never Have I Ever, by Jocelyn Jackson, which I'm not familiar with, but looks newish. 2021, March 2021 edition. Originally came out in 2019 in hardcover. And finally, 2 Danielle Steele books. This one was part of that fill a bag for $1, just like everything else in that stack I just showed. And then this one I think I probably got for 50 cents. This is Royal, a newer book. Let's see what years these were. I have mixed feelings about Danielle Steele. I kind of like her, but I dislike the info dump aspect of her writing. This one came out 2018, but the paperback edition was from 2019. She always dedicates her books to her children. There's so you can see the info dump aspect of instead of like jumping to something exciting, you have to deal with a bunch of pages of setting up the story. And then Royal, a novel. There's Danielle Steele in the back. And this is from 2020, first edition. Here's what the first page looks like. Very similar looking, actually, to the other one, which also mentioned 1943, didn't it? Oh, 1942. So anyway, who knows? I'll have to look into it and see when they take place. But anyways, so that's those are the romance novels that I bought recently. Thanks for watching.